crazy about the way, I'm crazy about this baby, Mariana. It's crazy just the way I get to call her daily, my Mariana. I just want you to know now, I don't want you to go away. If you're sad, let me know now. I don't want you to walk away from me, Mariana. You're for me, Mariana.
Right, I don't know who Mariana is, but that is definitely the kind of vibe you'll be having in the next 30 minutes. Yeah, definitely. And he's not alone, obviously. That is Teller 254 and Prince Robert. Today we talk about spoken word, poetry and all that. I definitely have to learn myself some poetry for all that. But then all that after the highlights tonight. Tonight, former Ainapkoi MP William Chepkut is dead.
We immediately started doing CPR, but we could not resuscitate as there was no revival, no spontaneous revival of respiration or heart rate or anything.
Doctors say cause of his death could be cardiac arrest. President William Ruto is in Uganda ahead of its 60th Independence Day celebrations set for tomorrow. And we shall tell you about the Nairobi walking maps. These young men have come up with a new venture of showing directions at a fee. Catherine Simolo is on the sign language docket. My name is Stanley Ringita. Now to our top story tonight. Former Ainapkoi Member of Parliament William Chepkut is dead. The family has confirmed that Chepkut breathed his last this morning after collapsing at his home. He was rushed to hospital in Nairobi where the doctors pronounced him dead. His family has eulogized Chepkut as a generous man who will be remembered for his witty character. Chapter Boyd with the details.
Former Ainapkoi Member of Parliament William Chepkut is dead. It is alleged the former Member of Parliament has been ailing for some time now. It is alleged that Chepkut collapsed at his home and was rushed to a city hospital this morning. However, efforts to save his life were futile since doctors at the facility say he was brought in at 8 a.m. with no signs of life.
At around 8:20 a.m. in our casualty, we examined him, but we found no signs of heartbeat or breath. We immediately started doing CPR, but we could not resuscitate as there was no revival, no spontaneous revival of respiration or heart rate or anything. And finally we had to declare him dead.
Of course, we attempted the resuscitation, but there was nothing to achieve because there was no signs of life, no heartbeat, no breathing. And so, as you said, the death was confirmed. But now, since the patient does not be with us, it becomes a police case.
According to family members and friends, Chepkut was okay as of 10 p.m. yesterday, and investigations have commenced to establish the cause of his death. However, doctors say his death could be as a result of cardiac arrest.
He must be having pre-existing diseases, comorbidities, and most likely the factor could be cardiac arrest. Maybe we can suspect a heart attack.
Don't know the exact cause of death. This will be awaiting a post-mortem, maybe in the days to come. But I think for now we are grieving And we just want to make it public that yes, Chepkut has rested.
Tulipata hii habari ya asubuhi mapema. Ndio tukakuja Nairobi. So ni uchungu na tujaamini ameenda.
Kwangu ni huzuni kwa sababu jana tuliongea mara mbili, tuliongea saa 4 asubuhi, tena akanipigia simu saa 4 usiku, and he was in very good moods. Akaniambia nimeongea na Murkomen kwa muda mrefu na nimeongea na ameniambia kwamba tutaongea na rais na kwamba rais atanipa kazi, nitakuwa ambassador Sudan. Tukaongea, he was in very good mood.
Chepkut served as a NAPCOI member of parliament between 2017 and 2022, where he was elected as an independent candidate. His bid to defend his seat in the August polls flopped after he lost the seat to incumbent member of parliament Samuel Chepkonga, who was vying under the UDA party. Chepkut has been eulogized as a generous leader who had the interest of his people at heart. The former lawmaker, who served as a personal assistant of the late Nicholas B. Watt, who was a powerful minister during the late President Daniel Moi's tenure, will be remembered for his witty and humorous character.
Brother yangu ni mzuri sana. Hako na roho mzuri. Tumepoteza ndugu yangu ni mzuri.
If I look at my father, especially towards his later times, it was very sad and very grieving to see how he lived his last moments. It was very painful. It's not something with which anyone would want to have looked at.
From the time I've known my dad from a young age, he was always ambitious. He was a kind person and he was a humble servant of the people.
His family and friends have urged President William Ruto not to forget Chepkut's family, who is alleged to have been awaiting a job as an ambassador to Sudan. Chepkut's body has been moved to Lee Funeral Home. Chepkut, GOtv 47, Nairobi.
Quite a soulful and a full soul, in fact, man. President William Ruto has made his maiden trip to Uganda since his election as Kenya's 5th president and is expected to attend Uganda's 60th Independence Day celebrations. And as Elizabeth Atieno reports, the visit comes amid tension between the two neighboring countries following Museveni's son, General Muhoozi Kainerugab's tweets where he talked about his ability to capture Nairobi in 2 weeks.
President William Ruto and his delegation were received at Entebbe International Airport by Uganda's State Minister for International Affairs Henry Okello Oryem. The president is in Uganda to attend the country's 60th Independence Day celebrations slated for Sunday, October 9th at Kololo Independence Grounds in the capital, Kampala. During his visit, the head of state is expected to hold bilateral talks with Uganda's President Yoweri Museveni to discuss diplomatic and trade ties between the two countries.
You didn't move.
Ruto will then head to Speak Resort Munyonyo in Kampala for the Independence Day dinner and thereafter attend the Independence Day celebrations on Sunday before he leaves the country that afternoon. The visit comes amid rumors that Dr. Ruto had developed cold feet over the trip after Museveni's son, General Muhoozi, went on a Twitter frenzy ridiculing Kenya for its democracy and sensationally claiming Nairobi would fall to his army in a fortnight if they attacked. This triggered a major diplomatic tiff with Uganda's biggest trading partner in the region, forcing President Museveni to offer his apologies on Wednesday. Museveni then dropped General Muhoozi as boss of the land forces, but promoted him to a full general, making him the youngest Ugandan soldier to hold such a title. These sentiments come after Museveni affirmed during Ruto's swearing-in ceremony that he would not meddle in Kenya's international affairs, but would act as an observer. This is Dr. Ruto's first trip to the neighboring East African nation as head of state. Uganda will tomorrow mark 60 years since it attained independence from Britain in 1962. Elizabeth Atieno, TV 47.
Thank you for that, Elizabeth Atieno. Moving on, the Public Service Commission, PSC, has added 108 new names to the candidates shortlisted for the Principal Secretary position in government. According to the Commission, the former list was not inclusive as per the Constitution. Among the new names featuring in the new list include IBC Commissioner Boya Molu and Ambassador Simon Nabukwesi, who served in the Jubilee administration as Principal Secretary under the Ministry of Education. After a keen review of the shortlisted candidates seeking the Principal Secretary title in President William Ruto's government, the Public Service Commission, PSC, has added 108 new names to the list. A total of 585 shortlisted candidates from the previous 477 will now be fighting to be among the 49 who will be selected by the President to run various dockets in his cabinet. The PSC has explained the move to add new members, stating that the former list needed an inclusion in gender, marginalized and minority groups, the youth and people living with disability. The revised list has included IBC Commissioner Boya Molu and the Commission's Corporate Communication Manager Tabitha Mutemi. Others are spouse to Kakamega Governor Ken Lusaka, Margaret Nafula Makelo. State officers like Director General Health Patrick Amoth and Ambassador Simon Wanyonyi Nabukwesi have also been included. William Ruto's close associates, including his legal advisor Korir Singoi and Professor Edward Kisiangani, who was in his communication team, have also been shortlisted. The trim and cut of the 585 candidates will be conducted from October 12th to October 22nd at the PSC head offices. From that, Deputy President Gachagua has asked county commissioners to work closely with the governors in implementing government programs, addressing county commissioners from counties affected by drought that continue to be affected by this drought. He said that this particular mitigation of the drought will help the counties be
They are focused, they are committed, they know what to do. If we deploy them properly and appropriately and positively for our country's development and to help the people of Kenya, this country will succeed. President William Ruto has a huge responsibility to turn around this country. The contribution of the national government administration to its success is critical. And I want to ask you, we work together. Soon we'll call you for a seminar to take you through our manifesto so that you understand it. And together we work on it. I want to assure all of you, your jobs are safe. And I implore every one of you to take it as a personal responsibility to reach out to your governor and make him feel comfortable with you and the national government administration and the entire national government. We want no conflict with the governors. It cannot help our cause.
Now, in the last few days, the courts have cranked the whip on leaders with corruption cases. This has elicited mixed reactions within the political divide, as opposition opine that these cases are targeting leaders allied to the Azimio coalition. Flora Limuki with more.
As soon as word came out on the decisions of the court in various corruption matters, the pronouncements courted mixed reactions from Kenyans, both on and offline, with many, especially Jubilee and opposition leaders, of the opinion that the decisions had a political inclination.
People who are facing jail terms, and now you can see that people are being influenced to drop charges against these people. I mean, it's very, very selective justice. All of a sudden, things are happening.
The High Court upheld the 67-year sentence handed to Sirisia Member of Parliament John Waluke in 2020 for defrauding the National Produce and Cereals Board of 313 million shillings and overturned the acquittal of former Kipipiri Member of Parliament Amos Kimunya in a 60 million land graft case, citing that the Magistrates Court erred in setting Kimunya free. Both are affiliated to the Jubilee and Azimio la Umoja political faction.
There's clearly a push by the executive to own the judiciary through illegal actions that amount to bribery.
On the other hand, the High Court issued orders prohibiting the magistrate courts from proceeding with the 588 million graft case facing 5 members of the Kiambu County Tender Committee, which was linked to former Kiambu County Governor Ferdinand Waititu, and despite the fact that the DPP was quick to allay the notion that Waititu is off the hook. The decision has elicited mixed reactions considering the fact that Waititu is a strong ally of President William Ruto.
Judiciary paraded themselves before Parliament to receive him. Again, I saw so much noise, people saying judiciary has been bought by the president. Now, let me tell you what, some of these things are not sustainable.
Aisha Jumwa, a staunch ally of President Ruto and the cabinet nominee for gender, has active cases in court which has severally skipped sessions.
Border cabinet post to the border, he promised one to the Mama Mbogai. What we are seeing is just recycling the very, very people who have ruined this economy.
As soon as word came out on the decisions of the court in proceeding with the 588 million graft case facing 5 members of the Kiambu County Tender Committee, which was linked to former Kiambu County Governor Ferdinand Waititu, and despite the fact that the DPP was quick to allay the notion that Waititu is off the hook, the decision has elicited mixed reactions considering the fact that Waititu is a strong ally of President William Ruto.
Judiciary paraded themselves before Parliament to receive him. Again, I saw so much noise, people saying judiciary has been bought by the president. Now, let me tell you what, some of these things are not sustainable.
Aisha Jumwa, a staunch ally of President Ruto and the cabinet nominee for gender, has active cases in court which has severally skipped sessions.
Border cabinet post to the border, he promised one to the Mama Mbogai. What we are seeing is just recycling the very, very people who have ruined this economy. People with scandals.
Mithika Linturi, another key ally of President, had his rape case dropped earlier this week after his accuser withdrew charges. Linturi, the agriculture minister nominee, is said to have reached an out-of-court settlement with his accuser. The court's decisions have reawakened the debate in the shift of the balance of power, with many leaders allied to the Azimio One Kenya coalition and supporters of the opinion that the judiciary is being used by government to settle scores.
Why do you parade yourself in front to meet the president? Are you receiving the president? He has people who can receive in government.
All this being fueled by President William Ruto's promise to allocate 3 billion shillings annually to the judiciary in a bid to fast-track corruption cases. Flora Limuki, TV 47.
Right, thank you for that, Flora Limuki. Now, imagine arriving in the capital city, Nairobi, for the first time, unaware of where you are headed. You could perhaps be joining campus or visiting some relatives, and you are stressed out on how to go about your business in the city. Now, worry no more. Some youth have come up with a new venture of showing directions to those who are not so familiar with the city's environment, however, at a small fee. Our reporter Beatrice Otare caught up with the youth and filed the following report.
For newcomers in Kenya's capital city, Nairobi, everything usually looks the same, from the roads to the tall buildings and even the people. Many a times people get lost. However, there is a solution to that small problem. A group youth in the Central Business District has come out to offer directions to netizens who are not familiar with the city, however, at a fee.
Sasa hapo ndo tu negotiate na customer, unadai aje, unaniuliza utanilipa hido, akikubali ni sawa, akikataa bado sasa unaachana tu na yeye.
Michael Mureithi, alias Jopinto, who has ventured in the business, finds it lucrative.
Kitu ile ni motivate ni ati lazima nifanye hiyo wera sababu ndio wera inanipea do sababu sidai wera ingine, unaona.
In a day, Jopinto gives direction close to 100 people at a fee of 100 shillings each, with those needing further assistance to get to a particular place, parting with at least 150 shillings for the damages. Information that he and his team shared through posters on the pedestrians' paths.
Kuuliza direction watu kama 100 kwa siku. Watu wengi hata siwezi count. Mtu anashuka tu gari anakuuliza na tukiwa hapa archives ni wapi? Tukiwa hapa OTC ni wapi? Tukiwa hapa gari za kaka ni wapi? Unaona? Sasa mimi nikaona nianze hiyo biashara. Wewe ukiniuliza direction unakuja in a polite way na mimi nakwambia in a polite way. Kuuliza direction ni do sababu pia mimi niko wera.
The notion that it is unsafe to ask anyone for directions in the busy, unpredictable streets of Nairobi is one that Jopinto and his team are aware of, and they have put measures in place to ensure fraudsters do not taint their image.
Sasa kwa hiyo base sisi tunajua na wenyewe tuko hapo, hadi makarau wanatujua ama kila kitu. Kwa hiyo base tuko kwa na watu wanajua mahali vile si ufanya hapo, unaona? Sasa vile tuko hiyo base hatuwezi kubali mtu alete ukora hapo. Sababu kitu iki happen sisi ndio tutaulizwa, unaona?
Like Jopinto, young men are advised to be smart and find ways of making money without being selective of the business ideas available.
Vijana wajikakamue, hakuna mtu atakutoa kwa shida. Kuna mtu atakutoa kwa inoma, lazima ujitoe kwa noma na kupata do yako, uipate tu jasho yako vizuri, utairidhikia tu jioni.
They say you've got to use what you have to get what you want. And in this case, these young men have decided to use their knowledge of the busy Nairobi town to earn a living. What are you doing with your knowledge? Reporting for TV47, my name is Beatrice Watare.
Right, thank you for that, Beatrice Watare. Quite important is that there. What are you doing with your knowledge? Interesting. I mean, technically, think about it. He is technically an Uber guy, just walking with you around Nairobi. Will you, though? Now, away from that, Samburu County residents have appealed to the national government to intervene and avail the relief food in the area to save lives. The residents say majority of households go days without water as the drought continues to ravage the area. Lucky Heriano reports.
Drought continues to ravage several parts of the country, with the North Rift area greatly affected. In Samburu County, residents have been forced to trek for tens of kilometers in search of water and pastures for their livestock. Greatly affected areas include Samburu East and Baragoi, residents calling to the national government to intervene.
Akishapata fosha, anaenda pale, anapeana hiyo fosha ndio anapewa maji.
Kupata maji lita 90 naweza kutusaidia. Kwa maana tulikuwa tunachota mbali sana. Sasa tunachukuru, asante sana. Kwa maana sisi tunaenda na mguu mbali sana.
The change of color of this stagnant water is a true picture of the situation here in Samburu, as residents are forced to drink this water to quench for their thirst. This has forced non-governmental organizations in the area to intervene as they supply food aid to over 1,000 affected families.
For a period of 1 week and going for 2 months, that is about 8 rounds in a span of 2 months. Basically, this is just to make sure that the households will be able to access the 15 liter, that is as per the fair standard, the 15 liter of water per person per day. Now, this is just to top up the little initially they were accessing. These are just small compared to the affected households, so there is still a huge need for the said commodities, both the emergency livestock feeds and the water tracking.
Residents are now appealing to the national government to offer relief food to save lives. Reporting for TV47, I'm Lucky Heriano.
And from that, leaders from Baringo County have voted to put an end to the runaway insecurity in the region, saying that they will pass a bill in Parliament that will ensure bandits are categorized under terrorism. Speaking during the burial of a GSU officer who was killed by bandits in Turkana, the leaders have voted to put an end to the senseless killings of innocent Kenyans by bandits. This story was produced by Haimba Emmanuel.
John Kisoi, a GSU officer who was among other officers who were shot dead in Turkana East a fortnight ago, has been laid to rest in his home of Kwikwi Village, Baringo North constituency, with the leaders saying they will pass a bill in Parliament to declare cattle rustling an organized group of terrorists.
Tutashirikiana na wewe mheshimiwa kwa bunge la taifa na seneti kubadilisha sheria ndio isisemekana cattle rustling. This is not cattle rustling. The country must know that this is not cattle rustling. It is terrorism. It is robbery with violence. It is killing.
The late John Kisoi was among other 10 people who were shot dead while pursuing cattle rustlers who had raided Turkana East. During the burial, the leaders accused the government of laxity. The leaders, led by Baringo North Member of Parliament John Makilap, said it will not be as business as usual, noting that they will ensure safety of the residents.
Why are these people not arrested? Shida ya Baringo inaanza na inamalizika na usalama. Tukimaliza shida ya usalama, sisi tutapata maendeleo.
Ya kwamba wale wakora wote tumepatiana majina yao kwa serikali yetu. Hao wakora washikwe kwa sababu wanajulikana.
Until his death, the late John was serving as a GSU officer at Lokori area in Turkana North, and he has left a widow and 4 children.
At the same time, Makuyuni residents in Kiminini constituency, Trans Nzoia County, where the Cabinet Secretary nominee for Health, Dr. Susan Nakhumicha, hails from, have thanked President William Ruto for nominating her to that position. The residents have now appealed to members of parliament to approve her during the vetting process. Boniface Baraza with more.
This meandering road leads us to Makuyuni village in Kabiefwe, Kiminini constituency, Trans Nzoia County, where the nominee for the health docket, Dr. Susan Nakhumicha Wafula, was born and bred.
Kenya Party, we are therefore going to focus on the elections.
As we arrive, we are welcomed by complete silence. Shortly after, residents flocked to the compound to welcome us with song and dance. The elected residents have called on the National Assembly to hasten the vetting exercise to pave way for their daughter to assume her duties officially.
Mtoto wetu minister wa health anatupenda kikucha, tunakulanga na yeye. Akileta kitu unaona anametuita, tunaingia hapa, anakukawa michele.
Nataka kushukuru rais wetu Ruto vile aliamua kuchagua msichana wetu Susan. Nasema tu ni asante, na wapunge wote. Kweli mnatuchelewesha tu sana. Ebu mmechagua mtu mzuri, muamue haraka. Susan kweli atufanyie kazi.
The residents are optimistic that the appointment will be beneficial to the community.
Ni kazi yetu ambayo tunataka atufanyie. Hapa kwetu hatuna maparapara, hatuna stima. Hata mahali anakaa hiyo nyumba hakuna stima. Tunataka atufanyie vile amejiingia kwa ile nafasi.
Mtoto wetu ambaye mwenye hajiwezi, na najua sisi huku pia hatujiwezi, atatuinua na atatuongoza kwa njia iliyo mzuri.
But how will the family and resident describe their daughter? Peter Sitoya is Dr. Susan brother.
Kama familia tunavyomjua Susan ni mtu mchapakazi. Yeye ni msichana mkubwa kwa familia na ametulea vizuri. Bunge ikipitisha yeye kuwa kama CS, sisi kama familia tumemwachilia asaidie kila mtu Kenya mzima.
Her primary school teachers narrated what kind of pupil she was in her early years of education at Baraton Primary School in Kiminini.
She was a good pupil, well-mannered and very capable in class. And on many occasions, we would assign her to teach the others also when the teacher is not there.
We were so excited as a school, and we were so grateful having produced one in the whole nation.
Dr. Nakhumicha is the firstborn in a family of 6. She attended Baraton Primary School and later joined St. Mary's Hill School Thika for her secondary school education, upon which she joined Kenyatta University. Nakhumicha unsuccessfully vied for Trans Nzoia woman representative seat in 2017 and 2022 on a Ford Kenya party ticket. With Susan Nakhumicha Wafula making it to the nominee list for cabinet slots, the locals here are calling for the National Assembly to expedite the process of vetting. Boniface Baraza, TV47, Trans Nzoia County.
Right, now to the wonderful world of sports. Madelta Glenna was early today in fine form as she won her match against Marshall Genevieve to record 1 point in the Mombasa Open Chess competition that is being used by the Chess Kenya Federation as qualifiers for the Africa Chess Championships. The two-day competition has attracted over 150 players in the seniors category, as well as the junior category, where the winner will be rewarded by a brand new car. Speaking during the competition, Chess Kenya Federation President Bernard Wanjala stated that the sport is a way of exercising the brain and makes people follow a certain pattern. Meanwhile, Madelta, who has been playing chess since 2016, expressed her hopes of winning the Mombasa Open and qualifying for the Africa Chess Championships.
I've been following every year. We normally converge here on 10th so that we hold our championship. This year we have seen a very good turn-up. We have about 150 players in the seniors, which is a good turn-up, an improvement of last year's edition.
I'm hoping I'll perform well in the national champion, which will come on December this year. The event which started today, we've played one round. I've won my first round. It wasn't against a very strong opponent, so it will most likely get tougher from here, and I'm hoping I'll win in this event.
To win, the chess game is a good game. I've been played in for around 6 years now, and since I started playing, you learn new things every day. There are a lot of skills. Some always helps in the mind. You can think fast. You can solve puzzles. It's interesting. Yeah, and I'm also looking forward to win the game and represent our country in Liberia.
Right now to the racing tracks. Preparations are in final leg with the 2022 Standard Chartered Marathon set to take shape on the 30th of this month in Nairobi. The organizing committee says it is still in the process of raising funds for the 19th edition of the feat. In line with that, the committee organized a warm-up race at the Karura Forest with runners participating in 5, 10 and 21 kilometers running trials. The marathon has attracted participation by local and international athletes in different race categories, with prizes of up to 1 million Kenyan shillings being awarded to the winners.
And the only break we had was